How's it going, everyone? Well, it's a beautiful day out here, so I thought I'd walk outside and make a video. Look at that sun coming through the trees. So, actually, just posing a question kind of to myself, and I thought I would share it. And it was, are we becoming more or less shallow as a society? And I wanted to try to pose this question in a way that conveys my message without going into too much detail. There's a lot of let's just say there's a lot of information out there that's helping us to move forward and learn more about our world that we didn't have accessible and available before. And during this time, we've started to see this, we've started to see who we are, who we truly are as people. And we see our, how our ancestors, our, parents, grandparents followed suit and played the game, followed the system, trying to keep up with the Joneses and whatnot. And we get somewhat frustrated that people were fooled or deluded into becoming one of the numbers, one of the masses. And we try and strive to be individuals. A lot of us want to be known for being different. We say, I'm not like everybody else. I don't have to follow suit, and I can beat my own drum. And then something happened. We started to realize that while we were shallow to follow the group, we may be just as shallow to think that we're different. That our yearning for individuality is only as good as our ability to keep up with who we think we really are or are pretending to be. That our assimilation into a group isn't something to be feared, nor is it something to be revered. Somewhat it's like culture. People, communities, and groups who, say tribes, African tribes or, New Guinea tribes who had a very close relationship with their environment for thousands of years. And they were able to do that by having a good time, making it fun, doing dances, becoming one with the group, but at the same time seeking out their own space, doing their own thing, and recognizing each person for what they had to give to the community, their value. Kind of like the medicine men of the past. The medicine men were, often nurtured and cultured and raised to be medicine men. But there were certain traits that certain tribes and groups would look for to determine whether a person was going to be one or not, was going to be somebody who could help the tribe, or if they were better off with a different position or doing something else. It's a lot different when we don't have just a couple dozen or 100 people in our tribe. Now in this US tribe we have 350 million people, a third of a billion people. And this is the population of the entire planet a couple centuries ago. We have exceeded our expectations of growth. We have allowed ourselves to flourish and prosper to the point where we've overpopulated ourselves like rabbits. And it's kind of like the horse problem in Oregon, to make a comparison somewhat. There are a lot of wild horses in Oregon. Since the predators were eliminated, no more wolves, the horses just, continued to breed. And in eastern Oregon, we still have wild horses down there, lots of them. And they've rounded up thousands and thousands of them, and they keep them all in these corrals because they don't want to kill them, because the people don't want to see them die. They're horses. They don't want to turn them into food because that would be immoral. But nobody wants them, and nobody knows what to do with them. And in some ways, the human race is in the same boat. We don't want to admit that there's too many of us and that there's not enough resources to share, at least the way we're doing it right now. I'm not going to deny there could be a future where that could change, but it's going to take working together and being individuals. But I guess to get back to the question of being shallow, what makes us shallow as a country or as a world or as an individual? What are the factors that determine whether we don't think outside the box? And tell me, are there any times when thinking outside the box can be detrimental or harmful to our well-being and way of life? Of course, happens all the time. People have these really extreme ideas that are, taking a huge leap of faith and they end up failing, such as new businesses, let's just say. You have two choices. You can start a business that's, a well-known Like you can start reselling or being involved in a retail outlet that sells a product that's consistent that people will always want. Or you could try to create a new invention and try to create a market for it. And that might utterly fail. And the entirety of human civilization is somewhat like that. The things that we try and fail. This is why conservatives hold conservative values. It's not because they're too stubborn to change. It's not because they're old, grumpy men. Well, some of them are. But I've tried to see it from the perspective of the conservative values. Sometimes it's because people are scared to let go of what they think was right, or to make life more difficult for themselves. But also, a slow-moving government and a slow-moving change of system and pace is often what saves us from somebody jumping in and completely rearranging the whole system. This happens in households, in governments, everywhere. So, whatever. We're just people, right? I don't know what the best path is, the best plan of action for an individual. I don't know what being shallow is. Is too deep of thinking just shallow, surface way to escape the mundane existence of what life really is? Don't over philosophize, I guess. Just do our best, right? Namaste and all that stuff. Talk to you later.